Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of CryptoScoop FM. In today's episode, I'm going to dive into the American AI action plan revealed by President Trump on July 23rd, 2025, and tell you exactly six, no wait, seven AI coins that I believe are ready to exploit everything that this AI action plan unveils, and why I think the moment for decentralized artificial intelligence has come. So, if you're interested to learn more about this, then stick around. If you're new here, I am Rohit, aka TJNRSC. I have been in crypto for the last 4 years and held multiple exec roles across companies like Polygon, Socket Network, and Long Hash Ventures. That gave me a front row seat to all of the innovation that is happening in the space. So I'm quite excited to share my thoughts, evolving opinions, and insights. As always, none of this is financial advice. If you're listening to this video and are preparing to take a financial decision, an investment decision, then it's all on you. I will not be responsible. So with that, let's dive in. Now, the first thing that caught my attention when I was reading through and just trying to understand what the basis for this AI action plan is, I came across and I cheated a bit, but now we have AI, so I guess I can afford to cheat. But I read and understood that the Trump executive order on AI was called Exec Order 14179, and it was titled Removing Barriers to American Leadership in AI, right? And this was signed into existence on January 23, 2025. And one of the things that this executive order outlined was for the newly appointed crypto and AI czar David Sachs and his team to work on a crypto action plan and an AI action plan. Now, in the last 2 weeks, we've seen Trump basically roll out both. I'm sorry, there's something in my eye bothering me, but anyways, so the idea was to come up with a clear action plan of what the strategy is going to be, where are they going to make their investments, and how they're basically going to win. And so they did come up with their action plan, and what this action plan essentially outlined, one of the things, I mean, it talks about a lot of things. So if you look at the action plan document, this is the it's called Winning the Race, America's AI Action Plan. It was released in July 2025. And Trump basically outlines that AI is one of the most transformative technologies, and it will the breakthrough in AI would essentially reshape the global balance of power. It will spark new industries. It will revolutionize the way we live and we work. And we must ensure that America, it is our national security imperative for the for United States to achieve and maintain unquestioned Trump, right? Unchallenged global technological dominance. And so to secure their future, we must harness the full power of AI. And so I scroll down, but amongst many other things, like if you look at the document and the way it's structured, there are basically three parts to it, right? The first part is accelerating innovation. The second part is building American AI infra. And then the last part is leading in international AI diplomacy and security. I won't dive into each one of them. Neither will I claim that I have read this 28-page document. In fact, I just gave it to Grok to zone in on just one area. But I want to go through some of these points here, which I think are interesting, right? The first one is encouraging open source and open weight AI. And I will stress that this one single line basically is the fundamental reason why I think the 6 or 7 odd AI coins that I'm about to unveil are well positioned to take advantage of this one thing that is outlined in this report, which is encouragement in open source and open weight AI. And I'll talk about why I think this is a strong enough driver for something like this to happen. Now, another one that caught my attention was invest in AI-enabled science. Bunch of really cool DeSci AI projects operating in the market right now, and perhaps this could be a strong driver for um, for these projects which are operating at this intersection of science, cryptography, and artificial intelligence, right? And finally, I also I also came across combating synthetic media in the legal system, right? So again, cryptographic primitives, zero knowledge technology, again will play a big role in us identifying what is human, what is not, what is real, what is not, in a largely AI dominated world. So those are the pillars, and then I went back to Grok, just trying to understand, like, okay, so you have open source, you have all of these things. I gave it the document. I just wanted to kind of deep dive into what exactly are they thinking when it comes to open source. And one of the things I read here, which caught my attention, is that the US must develop leading open models grounded in American values to position them as global standards in business and academia. And this is important because it has a geostrategic significance, because widespread adoption will enhance US influence worldwide. And if you think about how the US tech pretty much has grown, we've seen that social media is free for all to use. But that free for all has allowed them to collect the world's data. The same way, if their models are also open weight and they're open source, they will increase distribution, and that increased distribution will unpack a whole new level of geostrategic might that the US has never basically ever experienced. The second thing was, government support, right? So, like open weight stuff, they feel like it is also very important because if they want to work on like handling sensitive data and stuff like government stuff or some vendors, they might not be very interested in doing this with like a closed source company where they're exposing all of this data, right? So it's interesting if you think about it from that angle. And then finally I asked Grok, okay, so if this is true and you have you have now a framework to think about AI's expansion in the US and their leadership, and there is a specific directive in the first pillar, which is to accelerate AI innovation, that open source AI, open weight AI should be given precedence because that will fuel America's geostrategic interests. I put down a prompt asking Grok, how does this benefit crypto, or more specifically, how does this benefit the decentralized artificial intelligence landscape of crypto? And it said it made some very interesting points, right? Let's quickly jump in and talk about those. So Jacob Helberg, who is the Undersecretary of State designate, he praised the plan as a blueprint for American AI dominance, and he credited David Sachs, right? And this signals, Grok, as per Grok, this signals integrated policy support for crypto AI intersections, boosting US competitive and potentially funding DEI via public-private partnerships. Then you have Ejaz, which is crypto. Let me see where he is. So, yeah. And he said, man, they really gave us the perfect setup for crypto AI. First, US President appoints a AI and crypto czar. Then he announces a $500 billion AI fund. And this was in January 28, by the way, when the AI EO was announced. And I'll talk about what he did then. And now the best AI model is open sourced for next through nothing in cost by China of all countries, which will spark a fuse, resulting in the US doubling down. This was the point in January, if you remember, when DeepSeek just announced. Later, I think recently, he tweeted again about this, and he said, let me see if I can find his tweet, but okay, I think it's this one. Yeah, I got it now. So get this. The US released the AI action plan today, and they're basically going all in on open source AI and crypto. They are removing legal restrictions on startup founders to build crazy shit and make them open source it. We're finally going to be able to build new financial products, wilder AI models, tokenized assets and equities, all completely legally. I can't imagine a better setup for crypto and AI. Literally, two technologies whose success relies on unencumbered ability to innovate. Remember, this comes after 10 years of watching crypto get beaten down over and over again. Now, in under 7 days, the US government has signed 3 bills to legalize crypto tokenization, perps trading for retail, and now hyper competitive open source AI. Truly the best time to build in the US. I need to drink. You can already see how excited and happy he is. But I think Jeff actually made a much better point here, where he had outlined back in the day that Trump has promised to make US the capital for crypto and AI, and the $500 billion funding support to build AI infra is huge, right? The EOS. He signed EOS to develop an AI action plan, which we've already covered. And then, he said that in Web3, AI agents, we're seeing rapid developments. Teams still shipping at the speed of light. This. Def AI trading agents, agentic metaverse, and you're bearish because market is down, right? The agentic bull run of 2025 is just getting started. He also made a point somewhere here that DeepSeek performing better than OpenAI's O1 at a fraction of the cost sparked discussions on the efficiency of AI model development. DeepSeek's open source nature encouraged more open collaboration. API pricing made it a lot more accessible, and it attracted talent to work on open source project, which with many likely to build in crypto and AI, given the open source and open collaborative nature. So this is exactly what the AI action plan is unlocking. A bunch of other tweets by GameGPT by Prism, where it says, again, like US passed 3 bills for industry clarity and adoption. Trump unveiled the AI action plan to outpace China, and blah, blah, blah. Coinbase invests in AI-driven DeFi, right? Stuff like that. So clearly you're seeing a little more excitement in the industry. Kava, which is the decentralized blockchain focused on decentralized AI, tweeted that with the clarity and genius ads, the US is taking a lead in crypto innovation. Boomin, who is a researcher and at Succinct, he said that after reading the document, I realized that everything we're building at Sentient AGI, open source, community aligned, decentralized artificial general intelligence, is directly aligned with the future of the US government. The future the US government just endorsed. Right, so again, you're seeing more and more, operators in the crypto AI space or the decentralized artificial intelligence space being extremely bullish and feeling like this is the moment that they were living for. So, all in all, it has been a very exciting announcement. I also personally am, like, my personal opinion after analyzing BitTensor deeply and also closely observing all of the innovation that is happening on the other side of the table. So if you look at OpenAI, or you look at DeepSeek or Anthropic or XAI, it's very clear that you will have these companies which have massive data, massive talent, massive workloads. They're gonna build like AGI or artificial, super intelligence, artificial general intelligence at scale, and they're probably going to do it better than, I think, crypto AI companies. But where crypto AI companies will eventually, I feel, win or create a niche for themselves is going to be in these hyper focused, intelligent necessities or needs at the edges. So this could be, a specific agent focused on some kind of a trading activity, or some kind of an agent dedicated to doing scientific research, or some kind of an agent dedicated to interacting with drones or whatever. Why do I say that? Because cryptographic primitives combined with the free market that we're able to build on chain allow us to create coordination mechanisms and incentive mechanisms. These coordination mechanisms and incentive mechanisms can then kind of work together with each other and unlock this possibility. So I am like incredibly bullish on some of these AI projects for sure. Okay, now before jumping in and revealing the 7 AI coins that I think will greatly benefit from Trump's executive order, I want to talk about a product that I've been using for the last couple of days, which I think a lot of you, if you're a crypto investor, if you're a crypto trader or a crypto operator, would really like. Because let's be honest with ourselves, if we're living in XYZ country, it's so hard for us to get access to crypto exchanges, crypto applications, crypto dApps, even crypto wallets. Even if we are living in a place where the regulations are great, I am still exposed because people, like criminals, they are also targeting crypto folks. So it's very important that you keep your identity hidden or private and use or consume crypto or interact with crypto in an anonymous way. So this is the product. This is GoLogin.
If you're serious about crypto, whether you're trading, investing, or working in Web3, you already know that privacy and security is a big deal. Running multiple exchange accounts or wallets can be tricky. Platforms are getting smarter at tracking and linking your accounts, and geo restrictions can block access to certain DeFi services or exchanges. For anyone who wants real privacy and total control over their crypto activity, I recommend GoLogin. It solves all these problems and more. Let me show you how. GoLogin is an anti-detect browser. It gives you complete control over your online identity, making it perfect for crypto users. Here's what you can do with it. Stay anonymous on exchanges and apps, avoid tracking and stay private. Bypass geoblocks, access any exchange or crypto service even if it's restricted in your region. Manage multiple accounts easily. Switch between different wallets, exchange profiles, and accounts in just a single click. Team collaboration. Share access securely with partners or team members anywhere in the world. No more tracking or fingerprinting. GoLogin hides your browser fingerprint, not just your IP. 2 GB of free residential proxies included. Ensures fast and secure access to platforms worldwide. If you want total privacy and better control over your crypto activity, GoLogin is a must-have tool. You can try it free. Just click the link in the description.
And bam. Alright, so if you liked that small section, then there is a link to buy GoLogin in the description. It is at no extra cost to you, and if you want to support my channel, then it will help me earn a small affiliate earnings. With that, now let's jump on to the coins. So the first coin that I want to talk about is what is known as Near protocol, right? As you can already see, Near is currently valued at about 3 billion, right? And its all-time high was close to 11 billion. I think Near has gone through multiple iterations, but now they are at a point where they're working on very interesting ways to leverage like the Near blockchain and create a platform that can unlock like AI native applications, like agents which can own agent as assets, make decisions, transact across like networks. And I feel like that's where I keep circling back to the core idea. The core idea of crypto is always going to be twofold: 1, to make money; 2, to save money; and 3, to coordinate resources in order to achieve something, right? So with Near and these agents, I think it's just the natural order of how crypto wallets would eventually evolve into. So keep an eye on Near. I think at $2.5 billion, of market cap, $3 billion of market cap. It's also very closely trading to its fully diluted valuation. I like that. Unlike some other projects that we'll talk about, this is a good sign and a healthy token, right? And you can already see that there is a little bit of a bounce happening here. I think when the market kind of goes back to its full steam, I will not be surprised seeing this seeing near go back to its all-time highs of 10 to 12 billion dollars, or maybe even going beyond that. So that would be number one. Now the second one that I want to quickly talk about is Tau or Bitenza. Of course, every cycle has its baby, right? The new favorite. And of course, I love Tau. I think Tau is a very interesting experiment in coordinating global talent by offering them incentives in the form of Tau to do useful work, which is basically then recorded on chain. And from that perspective, I think I do like Tau. It's, as you can already see, a lot more expensive than Neo, trading at 7.3 billion FTV. I think they still have to prove themselves in the market, but there's just so much positive momentum. There's so much community activity happening around Tau that at this point of time, I will not hesitate to say that if I have to choose between Near and Tau, I would hands down choose Tau, simply because community momentum is the most important thing that determines the price of the token. And I think in one of my previous videos, I did say that all or almost all the value of any token can be explained through memetics, and that's true here as well, right? So Tau would be the second coin. Again, the team is based in the US, so I feel like they can take the most advantage of the AI action plan. The third one is Story, again based in the US. It's kind of, I'm surprised to say it's almost trading at its all-time high of $1.7 billion. So a lot of buy activity happened on Story after it launched to much fanfare, and then until July it kind of tapered down to 800 million. Since then has almost doubled. I feel this whole idea of having IP and using that IP to then create various products and services is interesting. And from a crypto or artificial intelligence standpoint, I feel like a lot of the data that we generate is unique and is also copyrighted, and Story will allow unlocking that data or that content and training maybe new models, creating new applications, which are probably not possible without it, right? So AI's next leap depends on unlocking $80 trillion IP asset class. Story tokenizes IP and makes it programmable from ownership to remix to monetization. So imagine like data that can be tokenized, remixed, trained, or monetized by bringing them on chain with Story protocol. I think this is a very strong narrative, trading at $5.8 billion. I think it is expensive right now. I would definitely want to get in at like at least half of this, like $2.5 billion. I might be interested in getting into Story. I'm yet to see big announcements coming from the team. But I know the team is very, very strong. I've been following them for quite some time. And now that the token craziness is behind us, I feel like Story could be a strong winner in this category. Now, the fourth one is actually not an AI project, but I think it is worth keeping an eye on, WorldCoin. This is a project that Sam Altman supports very closely. And what they're trying to do is basically try to identify everything that is human. And I think in a world which is more and more AI, or is going to become more and more AI, to assess humanity, but the proof of humanity is going to be extremely critical. And that is what WorldCoin is trying to do. At $9.6 billion, it is expensive as hell. But if you put this in perspective to OpenAI's valuation at $350 billion or something, it's peanuts. So, yep, world coins, buy the dip, guys, buy the dip. That's all I'll say. The next one is EigenCloud. Now, EigenLayer is kind of going through some kind of a, I won't say a crisis, but a challenging period of their project. You know, they started with being the restaking layer for Ethereum, and then for the longest time they were kind of working in that phase, and then they kind of in mid 25 they announced a strategic shift toward EigenCloud, framing it as an evolution of their vision to build a verifiable cloud infrastructure. Right. So, what's the goal here? This move was described by the team as a way to address crypto's historical limitations in programmability, which has confined most apps to simple financial tools rather than complex mass adoption services. Right. So I feel like EigenCloud building this native cloud platform on top of EigenLayer designed to make verifiability a programmable service will be huge, especially from the standpoint of AI generated stuff or AI applications. Verifying information and the background of that information or content will be extremely important. I feel like this could be in, even if you look at their target use cases, verifiable AI and agents, fully on-chain games, prediction markets, medical records, media attestation, and automated insurance. Essentially, any service needing trust without central intermediaries is going to be important. They also highlight developers to build things like verifiable AI models, automated dispute resolution systems, right? Like, is the response to a prompt that I am writing here coming from Grok 4 or Grok 3, that's verifiable AI. I think it's going to be huge, guys. So if you look at EigenLayer right now, it's currently trading at somewhere around $2 billion. And I know why the weakness is, because they're yet to prove themselves. But I have no doubt that they have a very strong team. And if I ever to bet on them, no better the time than getting in on the ground floor on this new innovation. They've also done, gone through a recent downsizing. So a lot of folks from EigenLayer are now out. I feel like lean teams are important when you're working on something which is challenging and you're going through that pre-PMF phase or process. But I think this is going to be very, very interesting. Now, another one is, of course, Akash Network. Nothing new here. You've been hearing this. This has been around for the longest time. Like, they offer decentralized cloud compute, which is basically you can go in and they offer you a cheaper version of AWS, but over a decentralized, federated network. So, Akash, I feel at 300 million is a nice deal. Their metrics look pretty decent to me, and I think Akash is going to do well. So, yeah, keep an eye on Akash at 300 million. I think it's a good one. I feel like in the last rally in 2024, it went to almost 1.5 billion. So we're looking at a like 3 to 5x on this project, perhaps. Now the final one is IoTex. I think of all of the coins that we have spoken of, this is probably the weakest one. But I also feel like IoTex could be one of those, surprising projects that could do a resurgence, partly because I think the team is now finally thinking in a direction that we have limited capital pool. We need to be very specific about our bets in decentralized physical infra networks. And when I think about my thesis around energy, compute, and crypto markets, the foundational layer of those on-chain energy markets, those on-chain compute markets, and those on-chain, crypto markets is decentralized physical infra networks. So I feel like IoTex from a narrative perspective is very strong. Now there are other projects in this space. There's also Peak, PEAQ. So if you can check out that project, I think this one is valued at 284 million. Peak is much cheaper. I think Peak is around 70 million last year. So let me see. Yeah, it's still around 67 million in circulating supply. But FDV is slightly higher than IoTex. I think IoTex has more history in the space. I'd probably go with that, right? Okay, guys, that was it on today's video. I just hope that you enjoyed it. I feel like we're just at ground zero of all of the crazy things that we're going to see, especially in artificial intelligence. And I also feel, much to anybody else's, you know, um, much to how maybe other folks in the industry might disagree with me, but I think AI is here to stay, and I think crypto AI is going to be a very, very hot sector for a very, very long time. So don't fade it. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you haven't seen my video on why I think Base is probably going to be one of the strongest performing chains and the top tokens on that chain that I am betting on, you should definitely check out this video. My other big bet is on Sui ecosystem. I think Sui is positioning itself as the new DeFi beast. Its Move technology allows developers and builders to build much better applications. So you should definitely check that out here as well. All right, guys, with that, it's a wrap on today's episode, and I'll see you again on the next episode. Until then, sayonara.